Moving on over at the Avdiivka front. So at the Avdiivka front, Russian forces are attacking at Klishchiivka, which is something new. We have never seen the Klishchiivka being reported to be attacked. This is by the Russian Defense Ministry. This comes after Netolove seems to have been fully captured or almost fully captured by the Russian forces. Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking at Netolove, reported by the Russians as well. Russians attacking Yasnobrodivka. There's a clash at Umanske. Russians attacking at Semenivka towards Novoselivka, Persia. There's a clash at Solovyove. Russians attacking Sokil, attacking towards Progress, towards Novo-Alexandrivka. Ukrainian forces attacking at Charitine. Russians are trying to expand out. Ukrainians attack at Arkhangelsk. Russians attacking towards Kalinove. So this is the strategic situation over at the Avdiivka front. Very, very complicated, arrowing around. As I mentioned before, this looks like a pincer, so no, but the Russians don't really care. They just continue to push out. They continue to push out in this direction. We shall continue to monitor and see how this develops. Otherwise, in terms of some geolocation, Russian forces geolocated just off Badaichi. So confirming the front line is correct. There is no the gray zone continues to be over at the western part of Arkhangelsk. Russian forces don't seem to have much progress now over the past 24 hours, but it's interesting that the Russians starting to attack a bit more. So maybe there is a revival of this Avdiivka offensive, maybe, because there is this winding down feeling over the Kharkiv front. So maybe the Kharkiv fronts have achieved its objective. Now Avdiivka will start to push, and then they do a vice versa kind of thing. You do, then I do, you do, then I do, kind of situation. So over at the New York front, Russian forces are attacking at New York region, and then there is a geolocation of a Russian airstrike over at Alexandropol. So that's about it, I think, over at the New York front. We don't have anything else. We move into the Bakhmut front. In the southern flank of the Bakhmut front, yesterday I mentioned that the Russian forces have captured most of Klishchiivka, and they are only leaving just a little part of the settlement as well as the high ground that the Russians need to capture. But the Russian Defense Ministry in yesterday's report declared that they have captured Klishchiivka. So Ryba have not objected against this report. They simply acknowledged it. They acknowledged that there are some reports saying that the adjacent heights are captured on the south, which means this area here. However, the higher this area here, this northern or rather western part of Klishchiivka is also very vital. So if the Russians did not capture this area here, then I wouldn't have said Klishchiivka is captured. So the Russian Defense Ministry announced it. I have my doubts. We will continue to monitor, because this reminds me of the Stadisia situation where the Russians came very close to capturing it. Maybe a lot of the places is gray zone and then they just declare capture. But Klishchiivka has a very long history of false reports of capture. So we will continue to monitor, because this is a really hard place to capture due to the high ground on the western part. Then in today's Russian Defense Ministry report, they declared the capture of Andriivka. So this is more plausible because Andriivka is actually a very small place. So, but if both reports are actually accurate, if Russian forces secured all the high ground and they have captured Andriivka, which means that they would have straightened the entire front line in this way, and the Ukrainians would have to fall back to the second line of defense and the third line of defense in this southern part of the Bakhmut front. So it would be a massively serious development in the Bakhmut front. But tentatively, we will continue to wait for confirmation. Tentatively, I do not put this as a flag. DPA's position, this is not captured yet. This is just announced by the Russian Defense Ministry. We want a second source, a second corroboration for these things. Over in the central sector of the Bakhmut front, Russian forces are attacking in the area of Ivanivske, and they are attacking towards Chasivya. They are attacking at Novi, and particularly over at Novi, we have some frontline changes where there's a Russian geolocation. Geolocation of Russian forces showing that the Russians are trying to push in. They are still largely on the edge of the city. However, on the northeastern part of Novi, Ukrainian mapping have acknowledged that this area here is now under Russian control. So this is previously reported. I have done this report previously that the Russians have captured this area here, or at least there's a claim. So this is based on Russian reports, because if it's a geolocation, then I would have changed the entire front line. So which means that this is actually a Russian report of this capture of this area here. It was a claim. So now the Ukrainians have acknowledged this. So we'll continue to monitor and see how this develops over the Novi region. And that's all from the Bakhmut front.